Marjorie and Patrick's love story began in 7th grade. Marjorie was out there on the dance floor twirling around, and she noticed that the new guy in school, Patrick, was looking back at her from the sidelines. Well, from that day forward, Marjorie and Patrick were an item at almost every event at high school. And then Marjorie's family moved away, and they lost touch. Marjorie went on to college, and Patrick joined a band and moved to Hawaii. Now, a decade in Hawaii was a pretty bumpy road for Patrick. He had 2 failed marriages and alcoholism. He finally pulled himself up in recovery, moved back to California with his mom, took a job an hour away. Life was not bad. One afternoon, he was sitting there with his mom looking through an old photo album. He came across a picture of Marjorie. He said, "Why couldn't I have just married Marjorie Southworth in the first place?" That gave him an uncontrollable urge to reach out to find her. He called every Southworth in the Los Angeles phone directory. No luck. He thought, well, what could I expect? She's probably married and changed her name. But the next morning, the very morning after he was looking at that photo album, Patrick went to work. And instead of taking his regular route to get to his job, he had a crazy notion. He took the 405 freeway, which was 20 minutes out of the way. He knew it was, but he did it anyway. So there he was, pulling onto a 2-lane ramp to get onto the 405, stuck in traffic, bumper to bumper, and he hears beep, beep. He looks to the side, and there is a beautiful woman in a car next to him, and she turns, and she's got sunglasses on, and she lifts them up like an actress in a movie. It was Marjorie! He couldn't believe it, Marjorie. And then he all of a sudden heard beep, 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 beep. All the traffic behind him were making him move, and he didn't know what to do. He had to go into the sea of cars. He felt bad. He tried to keep her in the rearview mirror. He pulled into the traffic, and he waited for the next exit. He pulled off. He looked and he looked. Oh boy, she was pulling off after him. They pulled off onto a side street, jumped out of their cars, and hugged. It was like they were back in 7th grade again. A few days later, Marjorie and Patrick had dinner. And not long after that, they became Mr. and Mrs. and had dinner every night since. That's what happens when God winks on love.